This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're here in London. I'm joined by former World Cruiserweight Champion Johnny Nelson. Johnny, you've just just finished a hard day's work. Had Richard Riakporhe throwing a few bombs at you there. I'm glad it was you rather than me. Obviously, he's getting ready for his Fabio Turchi fight. Just talk me through what you're expecting come fight night.
I think each time Richard's boxed, he's improved on something or another, and he's made sure every fight is a learning fight. His goal is to not just be world champion, it's to stay world champion. And that's actually the hardest thing, actually staying world champion, and most fighters think it's actually getting there. And what I like about it is the fact that after the fight he said, right, this worked, that didn't work, I could have done this, and that. And he's for always just wanting to correct and get better. I like that attitude, but yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think the only loss for Turchi was against Tom McCarthy on a split decision. So in that, again, I just think every fight, it's an eliminator, but every fight's got to be an eliminator, especially when you're so close in touching distance of a world title.
How far off from a world title do you feel Richard is, Johnny?
Touching distance, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it could be 1 or 2 fights away. You never know, this is, again, an eliminator. He's just worked himself into that position.
Obviously, just on the undercard, you've got Chris Congo and Sebastian Formella. Now, obviously, people look to Chris's performance and try and compare it to kind of Ben's when he beat Sebastian Formella. But what are you expecting from that one? And will you be looking for comparisons?
Of course, and Chris will as well, and his team will as well. And Chris is saying, I want to make a statement here. Formella's only lost twice, one of them being Conor Ben. So, of course, domestically, for Chris, he'll want to do a statement. He'll try and focus on his opponent in front of him, but it's going to be hard doing that. Chris has got long levers, he can punch, he can move, he's comfortable about what he's doing. I like that, again. So again, I actually think there's 2 fights on the bill that I think are going to be good fights. One of them's Chile against Brown, and that one there, I think Chile against Brown will be the fight of the night.
Just away from it, Johnny, obviously I don't want to keep you for too long because we have wrapped up here, but obviously other topics to touch on. I'm sure you've seen the video circulating of Anthony Joshua having it off a little bit with some students up in Loughborough. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that video.
I've been asked many times about it, and I think social media's created a nation of cowards, unfortunately. Unfortunately, you get an element of people that are happy to tell you and abuse you or say whatever they say to you behind a keyboard. And sometimes they mistake reality for fiction. So when you see the likes of Anthony Joshua walking down the road, you've got to remember, if you're going to abuse him or shout stuff to him, he's human just like you. He's someone's son, he's someone's brother, he's someone's father. So why would he accept it? Why would you think it's acceptable? So the problem is that nation of cowards, which I'll call them, all of a sudden think, well, it's all right to do that. When would you think it's all right to do that anyway, with anybody? It's just not acceptable. We saw a few months ago Mike Tyson getting into it on a plane with somebody on a plane. He went that little bit too far, but why did that guy think, I can do that? It's Mike Tyson, he can't hit me back. That's what cowards do. It's like poking a lion in a cage, but you wouldn't do it if there wasn't a lock on the cage. You'd think, I'm going to leave that alone. Why would you do that? So to me, I understand it's got the headlines, I understand people talking about it, but I also understand AJ's human. And I'm not just saying this because this is AJ, I'm saying it because it's anybody. The amount of sportsmen and women that get abused by keyboard warriors, and those keyboard warriors think it's acceptable. It's never acceptable. So, at the end of the day, I just think, be careful what you wish for. And I think what AJ did was, he put the fear of God into him and gave him a hard talking to. And he didn't even touch him. And so to make him think, shit, I need to think twice about this.
I've seen people suggest over social media, and I asked Richard as well, and he said it's probably the first time for a lot of people they've seen the organic, the raw Anthony Joshua that we haven't seen previously, because we know what he's like in front of a camera. We don't get to see that side to him. Was it good to see that kind of raw emotion behind it?
I wouldn't say it was good or bad. I think he has a job to do when he's fighting and when he's representing, when he's being a head figure. And then sometimes when you're on your downtime, you just want to be you. You want to be with your mates. If you mix the two, your personal life with your work life, then see, like, you mix the two. Then when you're going to have a day off, so there's a side to him that, yes, there's a section of the public can say, yeah, that's the AJ we want to see. But he's thinking, you know what? I'm at work. When I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm at home, I'm with my boys. he also could think, you know what, why should I hide this? Because you've got White saying what he wants, you've got Fury saying what he wants, so why should I get stick? So I don't think he's uncomfortable about what he did, his reaction. I wouldn't be if I was him. But I just think it should send a message to keyboard warriors, don't be cowards, don't do that sort of stuff, it's not cool. Why would you do it?
Deontay Wilder has announced he will be returning to the ring, Johnny.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, the right decision?
Of course, I never knew he'd walked away. I thought he was just licking his wounds and stepped away. Is that because Tyson Fury's retired? Or is it because, you know what, I've had a rest now I'm ready to get back in the mix. The problem is this, he's a multi-millionaire, he's just getting paid a hell of a lot of money. And I'm quite sure he's the man, you know, outside being a world champion. And there are some good fights there for him. Dylan White, AJ, Usyk, Ruiz, there's some good fights there for him. So it's a case of how much he wants and does he want it enough?
John, just final thing I want to touch on, obviously this past weekend we saw Joshua Buatsi overcome Craig Richards. Yeah. Did you tune in? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
What were your thoughts?
I thought it was well matched. I thought you had two fighters that showed a great skill set. I thought Joshua Buatsi working with Virgil Hunt is a great move. And he's just forming his style, forming that comfortable style. He showed a side to him, an energy to him that you don't usually see in him, and maybe it's the familiarity with his opponent. That's why he could do it, Craig. Craig Richards did really well. I think both fighters. I didn't expect it to finish inside the distance. I thought Buatsi was tighter and more correct, which is why he managed to do what he did. Cracking fight, I loved it. But it was one of those fights where if you're in the trade, you're going to watch it. It's one of those fights. Unfortunately. Or not. I don't know if it caught fire outside the trade, but it was a good fight.
Is Josh ready for world titles?
On that performance, he's ready to compete at world title. Would I say, God, he's going to beat all the world champions? No. But I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying I would put him in that mix, you know, to compete. I wouldn't say, it wasn't that fight where you say, yo, you're not ready to even step in that ring yet at that level, because he is. But he wants to step in that ring at that level and win. So you've got to be honest, and he's got to think, right, what have I got to do? Who've got to fight? How have I got to do it?
Obviously, one of the title holders is Dimitri Bivol, who recently defeated Saul Canelo Alvarez. Since then, we've learned that Canelo's going to have his trilogy bout with Golovkin beforehand. The right move on Canelo's part, in your opinion, Johnny?
Yes, without a doubt. I think Canelo, in his last 5 fights, I think he's looked a little flat in two. You know, that's either complacency or tired. He's been boxing since he was 15. I think Canelo's a brilliant technician. I think against Bivol, against Plant, I actually thought you boxed better than that. Third fight against Triple G, I think the first fight he lost. The second fight he definitely won, just upped his style. The third fight, I think he'll win. I think he'll win better and more convincingly. But it'll be a good fight.
Right, Johnny, we'll leave that there now so you can shoot off and enjoy the rest of your day. Pleasure to see you. Thank you.
Pleasure.